Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more relationship stories. And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Well, let's crack on with today's first story, which comes from Prophet Comfortable 717 from the Am I the Arsehole subreddit and says, Am I the arsehole for refusing my boyfriend's demand about me dancing at my cousin's wedding? I, 24 female, and from an Indian/Bangladeshi background. My boyfriend, 26 male, is white. Though he has grown up in a more conservative way, he is still very chill about culture and tries to blend into it. We've been together for 3 years. My cousin is getting married next week. Since it's a daisy wedding, you can understand the planning has been going on for like a year, and the functions last for days. So we have this function called Halud, where we apply a turmeric mask on the bride, and there is also singing and dancing. Context, you can Google Haldi, it is the same concept. My cousin's Halud function would be as big as her wedding, and each member is requested to perform a dance number. I have 3 dances ready for the function. One is my solo, another is a group dance, and the last one will be a couple's dance like they do in Bollywood. My boyfriend knows this and he has no issue with it. He's been to Indian weddings before, so he knows the deal. His issue is with the couple's dance. He doesn't want me to perform it. The couple's dance isn't very intimate. It's just a boy paired up with another girl, and they do dance steps together. I was paired up with a relative of mine. He's my mum's cousin's son. To be honest, I still have no idea how we are related, but we are. I asked him what the problem is, and he told me he doesn't want me to dance with a random guy because it makes him look bad. And since I am committed to him, it would be like cheating. I am a bit confused. He didn't have a problem until now. The dance rehearsals have been going on for 2 months. He has been to every rehearsal. I told him fine, I will see what I can do because I do not want to upset him. Now he is saying I shouldn't be dancing at all. His reasons were that it seems inappropriate. No female member in his family ever danced at a wedding where they are the center of attention. And since I will be on stage, people will be looking at me. He doesn't want that. I tried my best to explain to him that this is part of my culture. I'm not going to drop my culture just because he is uncomfortable. We had a fight and he is not talking to me. He most probably won't come to the wedding as well. Am I the arsehole? Because I never wanted to do things that would hurt him. I'm just trying to understand his perspective. Edit. Just to remove confusion, my boyfriend was asked if he wants to be part in the couple's dance. He agreed first, but after 2 days, he said the steps were complicated, so we replaced him. And the song was not very intimate either. It was not sensual like salsa or twerking. This is the song and dance, and OP shared a link. And it's a song from a film that's called Ye Jivani Hai Divani, and it was shared from a channel called T-Series, so if you want to look that up, you can certainly find it there. But the song is an absolute tune. I want to go running right now, it's got me proper hyped up. And for me, this is just a red flag of controlling behavior. We see a lot of insecurity on the channel, and I always sort of think, what is going through their mind? They're trying to stop you to do this cultural tradition with a family member. And if you was, I'm not saying that you should or anything like that, but if you was to pull out of it, people are going to ask questions about why. And surely anyone who's outside of this can see, that is not normal behavior, and they're going to question that further. It's not going to reflect well on him anyway. But advertising free says your boyfriend is either insecure, jealous of the attention you get on stage, or both. This is controlling behavior no matter how you want to explain it away. Not the arsehole, you should have fun at the wedding and dump the boyfriend. This won't be the last time he tries to stop you from doing things you enjoy. Trust that. Gullible Mind replies to that and says totally agreed. He doesn't want people looking at her. Absolute red flag that he thinks her dance and tradition wedding dances among family and friends will reflect badly on him. He's an arsehole, acting like a spoiled brat who doesn't want to share his toys. You're not doing something to hurt him by participating in your cultural wedding ceremonies and dancing. He's hurting you by making it sound like his feelings and caring only about how he looks to other people. Put it this way, how will him controlling you at this level make him look to your family and friends? Is this acceptable if he were also Indian? This is a performance for the couple, not you clubbing with other dudes on a weekend while you leave your boyfriend at home. Sorry, Destiny's Child. Top Bit says you'll probably have a better time if his jealous, judgmental ass stays home. Please don't worry about upsetting him. People like him love to get upset. It helps them control people, like you second guessing your dance. Go and have a blast. I'm sure you will look beautiful, and turn your phone off for those days so he can't annoy you. Resurrection Scary says your boyfriend is attempting to see if he can get away with controlling you. He's attempting to see if he can make you give up something important to you and your family to pick him over your family as a means of determining how much he will be able to exert control and dominance over you in the future. Tell him to fuck off, or your future will be terrible. And one more comment, which is a reply to that comment from Scrapple Sandwiches, who says, this is exactly correct. He can convince her to pick his irrational demands over her family. There'll be no end to the controlling demands. Plus, he gets to isolate her from her family at the same time. Next up, in the abuser playbook, she can't hang out with friends without him. Maybe a tracker on her car, telling her how to dress. These people never stop with one demand. So OP gives us an update after the wedding and says, okay, I'm done with the wedding stuff. Me and my boyfriend haven't contacted each other during the ceremony. I just told him via message that I already promised my cousin about the dance. I cannot step down because the functions are near. I told him I will talk to him once the wedding is done. I get no messages from him. I kept checking my phone. We had fights and disputes, but we always text each other to let the other know we are fine. I was worried a lot. I called one of his friends and they told me he is fine and doesn't want to talk. So I thought he must be mad at me. I became busy with the dance and wedding. Yes, I did perform the dance. No, I do not have the recordings with me now. I will get the official video after a month. Also, in case anyone is asking, I won't upload it because I don't want to give out my identity along with my cousins. So after the dance, I messaged him and he didn't reply. Something was off. I want to message him on another social media account in case I get him to talk to me. But there I saw he was tagged in a post by his friends that they are at a strip club. There was a video of him getting a dance from a stripper and licking alcohol off her boobs. I was disgusted. There were multiple stories from them of my boyfriend taking lap dances and other nasty stuff. I tried to enjoy the rest of the ceremony, but I was upset. He finally called me the next morning and we had a fight over the phone, which my cousins heard. Basically, he was angry with me and wanted to teach me a lesson to show that what I was doing was similar to him getting a dance from a stripper. I called him a sick man and broke up with him. I'm fine. The wedding kept me distracted. I had fun and looked nice in my hagracholi. My cousins were petty since they were still friends with my ex on social media. They were tagging him in every picture that includes me, especially the ones that are not single pictures of mine. He blocked all of them. Thanks Reddit for making me see that he was not worth it. I will be fine. I'm going to stuff my face with the leftover wedding food for the rest of the week. Now, first off, I think I should apologize for my pronunciations in that story. I did try my best. I did try researching them, but I really struggled to find a good pronunciation of that. Agracholi? I'm so sorry about that. But what a bullet dodged in this situation. What a bizarre thing to do. You know, I'm going to teach her a lesson by going to a strip club and comparing it to what you did. That's just a huge bullet dodged, isn't it really? This dude is 26 years old, and I just feel sorry for the next person he meets and gets with. If that's his attitude towards things, it's pretty scary, I think. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's move on to another story. Now, our next story comes from the Am I the Arsehole subreddit. Instantly, the title, you're going to go, no, you're not the arsehole. But I just want to see how the people are going to react within the story. So it's from Scared Weakness 6250, who says, am I the arsehole for jumping out of the way when my niece and nephew tried to push me into a pool, resulting in them falling in? Happened today. My folks decided to host a barbecue because I guess that's what older people do. I declined because I really don't like my two sisters, their husbands or their kids. Wife and I are child free. Mum then pressured the wife. Long story short, we went. By the time we arrived, there were about 20 people there. My sisters and their husbands were already solidly buzzed, drunk really. My mum was spending 100% of her time trying to keep the nieces and nephews, ages 7 to 11, more or less under control. My dad had strategically retreated to the whirlpool part of the pool with a small cooler full of beers. My wife and I made small talk with miscellaneous people, ate food, and had a frozen margarita. Sisters and brother-in-laws took turns criticizing us for being late, not being in our swimsuits and screwing up the vibe. Whatever, typical suburban summer get-together. About 45 minutes in, two of the kids ran at one of the neighbor's guests who was standing next to the pool and pushed her in. She was at the pool steps, stumbled in but didn't fall, so only got half wet. She was clearly very unhappy about it, but she didn't make a scene. Just went over to where the parents were, grabbed their towels, dried herself off and left. Sisters and brother-in-laws thought it was all great fun. A bit later I was standing a few feet away from the pool chatting away with someone. I saw three of the kids running full tilt at me from the corner of my eye. Obviously I was next. Not that it's terribly difficult to outwit young kids, but I just jumped out of their way at the last second. All three of them ran straight into the pool at full speed. Most of the other guests, including my wife and me, started laughing, but their mums, who I mentioned were pretty shit-faced, absolutely freaked out. Apparently two of the kids couldn't swim, even though they were in swimsuits. Since I wasn't in swim gear, I stepped back from the pool and let other people fish the kids out. The kids were bawling their heads off like they'd lost a limb. At that point, all hell broke loose. The four drunk parents were yelling at everyone in general and me in particular for nearly letting their kids drown, and also because two of the kids had been videoing the trick using their parents' iPhones, which were now at the bottom of the pool. One of my brother-in-laws got into the pool to try and retrieve the phones, but his BMI and BAC made that impossible. No one else volunteered to help, unsurprising given that my sisters were still bitching at everyone. I told my sisters it was their job to watch their kids and that if anything had happened to them, it would have been their responsibility, not mine. There were some pretty strong words on both sides. Wife and I left after the other brother-in-law fell over and face planted while yelling at us. Now they're saying I should have just let the little shits knock me into the pool and have their fun, and ruin my phone. So, am I the arsehole? Side note, Dad of course never got out the whirlpool. He's just sitting there watching that drama unfold, holy shit. Now I couldn't imagine, I'm just trying to picture my nieces or nephews running around terrorizing random neighbors at a pool trying to push them in. Imagine if that neighbor got hurt, what would have happened then? And for the parents to just allow this to go on, I would have been mortified if I saw like my nephews or nieces doing something similar to this. In fact, they just wouldn't because they've been raised correctly. And always a part of me in these situations always thinks, you know, those kids, they're going to grow up with these kind of attitudes. And like OP said, I think it's just the parents' responsibility in this situation. But Pokemon No More says not the arsehole. This is fuck around and find out. If the parents' phones got ruined in the process, that's on them for not controlling their little hellions. I can see why you avoid family get-togethers. Hopefully next time your wife won't allow herself to be guilted into making you go. OP says, that's probably the one positive thing that will come out of this. Wife is much more tolerant and forgiving than I am towards my siblings, but based on what she is saying on the way home, I think she has had it with them as well. Careless League says not the arsehole. Talk about raising your kids to be disrespectful arseholes and being irresponsible parents. What kind of parents get shit-faced when their children are playing in and around a fucking pool? Especially when they know that their kids can't fucking swim. Hero Brian says not the arsehole. People tried being arses to you. You avoided them. OP says I realize they're just kids and they were just having fun. The fact that they thought this was okay is more of a reflection of their parents and them. Just wish we hadn't gone. It's nice to see my folks and their neighbors, but I really don't like my sisters or their husbands. They don't hide their envy of us and they're just exhausting to be around. And one more comment from Bamf who says not the arsehole. 2 points. One, for the kids. If you're going to try and push people in the pool, winding up in the pool yourself is a risk you take. Therefore, if you don't want to get wet, don't try to push people in. This is even more important if you can't swim. 2, for the parents. They're your kids. They are your responsibility. It's fine to have fun at a cookout, but if there is an obvious danger nearby, like a pool, it is your responsibility to not get so drunk that you can't keep an eye on your own kids. Should they do something stupid, like try to push people in the pool that don't want to get wet. You are fine in this situation. There is no reason you'd have to be terrorized by kids just because they are bored. Now put yourself in OP's position. What would you do in it? Do you feel that OP is justified in moving out the way and letting those kids fall in the pool? Or maybe you've got a different opinion on this matter. I can only see it going one way though, to be quite honest. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below and let's move on to another story. Now our next story comes from Most Fit Bobo, who says, am I the arsehole for deleting my cousin's wedding pictures that I wasn't paid for? My younger cousin's wedding was last December, and she asked me to be photographer for the wedding. I'm a semi-professional photographer. She told me what types of photos she wanted and I gave her a quota of just under 1k. Wedding happens, I take pictures, I edit them, then wait for payment, which we agreed I'd get in full after the wedding before sending any pictures. However, suddenly she didn't have money and wanted to set up a payment plan to pay it off in 8 months and still get the pictures now. It's not that I don't trust her, but once you start opening such doors, you'll find it hard to close them. So I told her we could do the payment plan, but the photos will only be released when the full amount is paid. Didn't even add interest. She didn't respond. February rolls in and she asked to at least see the samples to confirm they were worth the price. I sent 4 pictures and she says she'll show them to her husband and get back to me. Due silence for a week or two until I asked for an update, and she responded saying she's still discussing it with him. I told her this was getting long and she must just start paying now, and she ignored me again. So I'd saved the photos on my roommate's flash drive temporarily while I was waiting on the actual hard drive. June came around and he texted me while I was working saying he needed to use it and took it from my room but saw there were still files on it. He couldn't move it to his laptop because it didn't have space, thus him needing the flash. So he was asking if he could delete the files. I said fine and he deleted them. I still had about 20 of the photos saved on my phone from when I was choosing/sending the samples, so I just explained the situation in a message to her and sent the existing photos free of charge. That was last month and I'm still getting flamed for this. She's been slandering me online and has quite literally created a division between our families, and to the point that our mums don't talk now. I obviously feel bad, but also feel like given the circumstances, I wasn't really in the wrong. I still acknowledge that it's obviously very shitty for her, but I would have wished to avoid. What do you guys think? Am I the arsehole? And we're starting the comments with the old man who says everyone sucks here. I agree with not sending the photos until you receive the money. She was obviously planning on stiffing you. However, if this is how you handle your product, borrowing a flash drive to store the only copy of someone's photos, you should give up the claim to being any sort of professional photographer. Lovely Aria replies to that and says, agree. Every professional photographer I know, and I was one for about 5 years, has backups of their paid work. God forbid a computer crashes and you lost the photos from someone's special day. There is no way OP can call himself a semi-professional while storing wedding images on a freaking flash drive with no backup. Cold Drain says, you couldn't get a hard drive between December and June. Run us all through the semi-professional aspect of being a photographer again. Is this the reference you really want when trying to get future work? You suck, they suck, I feel sorry for your roommate. Everyone sucks here. Cricket Worker says not the arsehole, she played around too much and continued to drag out her responses. No payment, no photos, simple. Family or not, she was given options. She didn't respond in a timely manner with a solution. Now she gets nothing. I don't understand why people hire others for their services if they don't even have the money. Surely everybody else got paid. I'm sure she was hoping, as family, you would just say, F it, and hand them over if she dragged long enough. Empress says, everyone sucks here. She was trying to stiff you. She's obviously an arsehole. However, if you're going to take professional jobs, you need to have the equipment necessary before the job, not after. You should not have agreed to the job if you didn't have the memory space to store the photos safely. Did you have a contract? What did it say about payment? While your cousin is wrong to have never paid, your choices sound far from professional. And a final comment from Prairie Mountain Zen who says everyone sucks here. You two had a deal and she's in the wrong for changing the terms after you already had done the job. But you're a semi-professional photographer and you don't own a flash drive. Really? You are equally in the wrong for completely erasing your cousin's photos without at least giving her a firm deadline for payments to begin before you just deleted everything. You should have informed her that you were going to erase the photos if she didn't meet the deadline instead of just going nuclear and trashing all of them. Those were irreplaceable and doing that was just spiteful. But now I'm going to turn it to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? How would you deal with it if it was you? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below as always. Now, just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, your support, your time is always absolutely amazing, and never forget how blown away I am by it. Truly, so very thankful, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Take care and much love.